Hi, this month we're learning about determination. Determination means not giving up, not quitting, but sticking to it and continuing to try, even when it seems impossible. When those times come that seem impossible, we need to remember to look to God and ask Him to help us. We're going to read about that in a little bit in Acts 12, verses 1 through 17. So if you have a Bible, go ahead and get it and open it up and turn to Acts 12, 1 through 17. While you're doing that, our memory verse this month is Galatians 6:9. It says, "And let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." In Acts 12, verses 1 through 17, we read about some people who kept doing good. The situation seemed impossible, but yet they continued to pray. They continued to look to God. I don't know that they expected God to perform as big of a miracle as what He did, but nevertheless, they continued to pray and they continued to look to God. So let's listen, and if you have your Bible, follow along as well, while Lydia reads Acts 12, verses 1 through 17.
About this time, King Herod arrested some people who belonged to the church. He planned to make them suffer greatly. He had James killed with a sword. James was John's brother. Herod saw that the death of James pleased the Jews, so he arrested Peter also. This happened during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. After Herod arrested Peter, he put him in prison. Peter was placed under guard. He was watched by 4 groups of 4 soldiers each. Herod planned to put Peter on public trial. It would have taken place after the Passover feast. So Peter was kept in prison, but the church prayed hard to God for him. It was the night before Herod was going to bring him to trial. Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers. 2 chains held him there. Lookouts stood guard at the entrance. Suddenly, an angel of the Lord appeared. A light shone in the prison cell. The angel struck Peter on his side. Peter woke up. "Quick," the angel said, "get up." The chains fell off of Peter's wrists. Then the angel said to him, "Put on your clothes and sandals." Peter did so. "Put on your coat," the angel told him. "Follow me." Peter followed him out of the prison, but he had no idea that what the angel was doing was really happening. He thought he was seeing a vision. They passed the first and second guards. Then they came to the iron gate leading to the city. It opened for them by itself. They went through it. They walked the length of one street. Suddenly, the angel left Peter. Then Peter realized what had happened. He said, "Now I know for sure that the Lord sent His angel. He set me free from Herod's power. He saved me from everything the Jewish people were hoping for." When Peter understood what had happened, he went to Mary's house. Mary was the mother of John Mark. Many people had gathered in her home. They were praying there. Peter knocked at the outer entrance. A servant named Rhoda came to answer the door. She recognized Peter's voice. She was so excited that she ran back without opening the door. "Peter is at the door," she exclaimed. "You're out of your mind," they said to her. But she kept telling them it was true. So they said, "It must be his angel." Peter kept on knocking. When they opened the door and saw him, they were amazed. Peter motioned with his hand for them to be quiet. He explained how the Lord had brought him out of prison. "Tell James and the others about this," he said. Then he went to another place.
Thanks, Lydia. David, can you come on up here and help us? And while David is coming, let me explain. This orange silk here is going to remind us of Peter. We read about him a lot in that passage. And we'll get to this a little bit later, but Peter was chained between 2 guards. These other 2 silks are each going to represent a guard. So David, will you go ahead and chain a guard to each side of Peter? While he's doing that, at the beginning of the chapter, we read about James. James and Peter both loved Jesus. At this point, Jesus has already died on the cross, risen from the dead, and he has ascended to heaven. So James and Peter have both been traveling around telling people about Jesus. Herod has James arrested and killed. When he does this, he sees that it pleases the people. So he decides to have others arrested and thrown in prison as well for believing in Jesus. Peter is one of those. So David, will you go ahead and take Peter and the guards and put them in the prison cell here? All right? Now, Peter, while he was in the prison, he was chained to 2 guards, it tells us. And during the night, while he was chained between those 2 guards, a bright light shone in the prison. And an angel told Peter to quickly get up and follow him. And the angel led Peter past 2 sets of guards at the gates and through the gate of the city, so that he was now out of the prison and he was in the city. Peter had thought he was having a dream, a vision, until he actually got outside of the prison and was in the city. Once there, the angel left him, and he realized that this was not a dream. This was really happening. So he went to the house of one of the believers. And at this house, there was a group of believers that were praying for him. They had been praying for him. And Peter knocked and knocked and knocked on the gate until the servant girl Rhoda came to the gate. She recognized Peter's voice, and she was so surprised that she didn't even open the gate. She went back to tell the others that Peter was there. The others didn't believe her. They thought it was a ghost. But Peter kept knocking on the gate still. And so they decided to go and open the gate and see for themselves. When they opened the gate, they saw that it was really Peter. So David, would you go ahead and open the gate? You can do the back gate as well. And here we have it. We have Peter. No longer in the prison, no longer chained to 2 guards. He told them how God had freed them from the prison. Now those people that were praying, they were surprised that Peter was there. They didn't expect God to do such a big miracle, I don't think. But they had still continued to pray. When we are in a situation that looks hopeless, we need to have determination. We need to keep doing the best that we can to help the situation. Don't get tired of doing good, but continue doing it. And we need to remember to look to God. It might be an impossible situation for us on our own, but it's not impossible with God. So take some time. Look back over Acts 12, verses 1 through 17 with your parents, your family. Talk about some times that maybe seemed impossible, but you saw God work in amazing ways. Then go ahead and think about some times right now that maybe seem impossible. And think about what you can do, including praying. Hope you have a great week. And let's have determination this week, working with God to do what may even seem impossible.